As we continue the series in the long anticipation for the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania, up next is WrestleMania 21. It took place on April 3, 2005 at the Staples Center in LA in front of 20,193 fans with a $7.1 million gate and 1,090,000 pay-per-view buy. Hosted by Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler, Michael Cole, and Taz, WrestleMania 21 was themed for Hollywood with parody trailers that advertised the event from famous movies such as Braveheart, Gladiator, Forrest Gump and Dirty Harry. The event brought in a host of celebrities such as David Arquette, Motörhead, Adam Sandler, Rob Schneider, Billy Gibbons, the Black Eyed Peas, Billy Corgan, Anthony Kiedis, Ice Cube, Carmen Electra, Sylvester Stallone, Marg Helgenberger, Matt Groening, Rick Rubin, Will Sasso, and Macaulay Culkin. Prior to the show was the Hall of Fame with Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, Bob Orton, Jimmy Hart, Mr. Wonderful, Nikolai Volkoff, and the Iron Sheik all entering the class of 2005. WrestleMania 21 is remembered as the beginning of the Cena era as the face of the company with the champ running with the WWE title till New Year's Revolution 2006. While the show had some great matches, some felt the main events were disappointing. The event was also much shorter than the last few WrestleManias with only 8 matches on the main card. We will be attempting to provide a stronger alternate WrestleMania, while keeping the interpromotional battle royal at the pre-show with Booker T going over, and the Piper's Pit segment with Stone Cold and Carlito. SmackDown. Rey Mysterio vs. Eddie Guerrero in a singles match. We would start the Dominic storyline much earlier here. Rey and Eddie don't win the tag titles at No Way Out, but instead Eddie would blame Rey for not winning the straps. Rey tries to make peace with Eddie and they agree on a friendly exhibition at WrestleMania. Dominic, Rey's son, would be at ringside for SmackDown episodes, whereby we would see Eddie as his favorite wrestler and Eddie would interact with him each time he would get in the ring. At the last SmackDown, Eddie takes Dominic backstage. Rey would confront Eddie about it, but Eddie says he just wanted to show the kid around. Rey says he had no right to do so, but Eddie says Rey knows the truth about Angie, Rey's wife, and doesn't see a problem. Rey starts pounding on Eddie to try to shut him up, leading to the match at WrestleMania. Rey pins Eddie after Hurricane Rana with Dominic at ringside. Rey wants to make amends, saying his son sees Eddie as his hero, and asks to shake hands, but Eddie slaps him and leaves the ring to much heat and controversy. Raw. Trish Stratus, C. versus Christy Hemme for the Women's Championship. We would leave the match as is with Trish retaining the title. Interpromotional. Shawn Michaels vs. Kurt Angle in a singles match. We would keep this match of the year as is with Angle going over with the ankle lock submission. Raw. Edge vs. Jericho vs. Shelton vs. Benoit vs. Christian vs. Kane in the inaugural Money in the Bank ladder match. We would keep it as is with Edge going over in the first MITB match in WWE history. SmackDown. The Cabinet, Orlando Jordan and the Basham Brothers, versus Big Show, Rob Van Dam, and Chavo Guerrero in a 6-man tag match. JBL's faction, the Cabinet, is led by Orlando with the Basham Brothers, who are still tag champs. They would get into a feud with Big Show, who was offered by JBL to join his faction as a special enforcer, but instead he would refuse, leading to his face turn and a feud with the faction. RVD and Chavo would join with Show to face off against the Cabinet, and Show gets in a chokeslam on Jordan to win the match at WrestleMania. Raw. William Regal and Tajiri, C. versus the Hurricane and Rosie for the World Tag Team Championships. Instead of their confrontation at Backlash, we would have it here with Hurricane getting in a roll-up upset over Regal and winning the tag titles. Backstage they celebrate with Stacy Keibler, and Rosie says she has the potential to become a superhero. Interpromotional. The Undertaker vs. Batista in a singles match. The two would meet at the Royal Rumble and we would have Taker enter it. With Cena on the outside, but not eliminated, Taker and Batista would battle it out till Taker is thrown out. Taker, however, grabs onto Batista with Cena throwing out Batista to win the Royal Rumble. Batista, despite being on Raw, shows up at SmackDown's No Way Out to screw Taker in his match with Luther Reigns. Taker starts to haunt Batista on each episode of Raw despite not being there. Batista shows up on SmackDown to try to find Taker and makes a challenge, believing he will end the streak and bring it to 12-1. Taker and Batista meet at WrestleMania. Taker would get in a tombstone only for Batista to kick out. Taker would be in shock as Batista would counter another tombstone for 2 Batista bombs to end the streak. An alternative would be to keep the streak intact with Taker going over, but this is one way to end it to give someone younger a bigger push. SmackDown. JBL, C. versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. We would actually have John Cena win the Royal Rumble and challenge JBL for the WWE title, making it a longer feud between the two. Cena would counter the clothesline from Hell with an FU to win the title. Raw. Hassan and Daivari versus Eugene and mystery partner in a tag team match. We would have Hassan and Daivari harass Eugene for several weeks. Despite being billed as Arab Americans, they would claim that Eugene represents what America has become. Eventually, Eugene promises revenge by bringing in a mystery partner at WrestleMania for a tag match. Hulk Hogan comes out to a huge pop as Eugene's partner, ending the match in less than 2 minutes with a leg drop to Daivari and the pin and win. Raw. Triple H, C. versus Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship. We would book this match starting from Orton's SummerSlam title win. Instead of Orton turning face, it would be more of a power struggle within Evolution. Batista stays neutral. Orton would eventually betray Ric Flair with an RKO so he can get another kill of a legend and as a power move against Hunter. Flair beats Orton at the Royal Rumble with the help of Hunter to win the World Heavyweight title a 17th time. Next night on Raw, Hunter says he screwed Orton so he could know his place in Evolution. However, Hunter challenges Flair for the title that same night and wins it. This leads to Orton challenging Triple H at WrestleMania, in which he accepts. Orton starts to claim Triple H should be considered a legend as he has been in the WWE for 10 years and that he started training 15 years ago, kayfabe. Triple H thinks it's absurd to think he's a legend yet and excommunicates Orton from Evolution. The finish for the match has Triple H going for a pedigree only for Orton to counter with an RKO and win back the World Heavyweight Championship. What did you think of this alternate WrestleMania? Stay tuned for WrestleMania 22. Comment, like, subscribe and thank you for watching In the Plot.